I am 27. My boyfriend is 29. I have been with my boyfriend for 2 years. We were doing great and complimented each other well. We did have a few rocky moments, but he is madly in love with me and I was too. Everything changed in an instant when I still had the laptop that my ex-boyfriend and I used together. I have had it for a long time now, but it doesn't work and never has. So nobody touched it for probably 3 or 4 years. My ex-boyfriend just abandoned it, and I didn't know what to do with it. Anyway, about 2 weeks ago in the morning when I was getting ready for work, my ex-boyfriend was off that day. He was going through the garage where I kept some of my old stuff, and he found the laptop. He asked me if he could fix it or maybe use parts of it for his computer. I said yes. He was working on the laptop when I went to work. When I came back from work that evening, my boyfriend looked visibly upset. He sat me down and told me he fixed my laptop and when he was deleting files to clean up the hard drive, he came across a video and played it. As you could guess by now, the video was made when I had a threesome with my ex-boyfriend and his friend. And we decided to record it. It was when I was young and stupid, and I was too careless to have not deleted it a long time ago. I had almost forgotten that it existed. So my boyfriend, after he fixed my laptop and came across the video, he watched it. He didn't have to tell me how much the video bothered him. I could see it on his face. He looked really sad and depressed. On some level, I wanted to call him an a-hole for not respecting my privacy. But in that moment, I couldn't say anything. He just walked out and didn't say anything. He came back after a few hours and we discussed it rationally without any screaming, and I thought everything was fine. I said it was in the past and that I couldn't do anything to change it, and that it isn't fair to feel ashamed of trying new things. He agreed. We also had a policy of not discussing past relationships, so he never asked me for any more information. We cuddled and slept that night, and I honestly thought everything was fine, but it doesn't seem so. He doesn't do all the things that he used to do. He doesn't even look at me or joke around or do all the fun things I love about him with me anymore. He doesn't seem interested anymore. We don't have sex as often as we used to, and he doesn't even hold my hand when we're out. He used to do playful things like slap my behind or cuddle during movies, but not anymore. I feel disgusted with myself and don't feel wanted or sexy. I've tried bringing it up, but he just brushes it off with jokes and deflects the conversation. I can't seem to get through to him because he reassures me that nothing is wrong. I'm afraid our relationship is coming to an end. I love him deeply, but I feel like he no longer wants me. How can I fix this? I've been crying every time I think about it. I don't know how to change him back to the way he was. I spoke to him, but it didn't go well. I asked him to be honest with me and not ignore the situation or be passive-aggressive. He got annoyed and denied being passive-aggressive. I asked him if I repulse him, and he said no. I got angry and started crying. He kept asking what was wrong, and I told him I could sense a change in him since he watched the video. He just sighed and said nothing. I told him it was unfair that he didn't respect my privacy and judged me for something that happened a long time ago and wasn't even that bad. I poured my heart out to him, but he just listened. I asked him if he saw me as a different person from when we first met, and if he thought I was just some dirty hole. He said no. I told him I feel like he doesn't respect me anymore. I didn't know what else to say, and he wasn't being open with me. This conversation didn't go as I had hoped. I'm a sucker for romantic gestures, but this wasn't one. I asked him if he was depressed or sad, and he admitted to feeling sadness and anger. I tried to dig deeper, but he wouldn't budge. Finally, I asked if he needed space or if he wanted me to move out. He just sighed and said no. I don't know what to make of this. He went out to smoke and hasn't come back yet. What should I do? Should I give him space and leave? I'm not even sure what I'm dealing with here. I'm trying my best to control myself, but I feel like crying and breaking everything in the room. What should I do? Did I make things worse? It's been 3 or 4 days since the incident in my last conversation. The next day I told him that I was not attacking him and that I was sorry. I reassured him that I would be there for him whenever he wanted to talk about it or anything else. He thanked me at dinner that night and we got to talking. Slowly, the subject was brought up and he expressed that he had seen a different side of me, a side that, and I quote, doesn't love him. I didn't understand what he meant and thought it was just some sort of insecurity. I tried to assure him that I do love him and that I chose him, not the guy in the video. I opened up to him about my own insecurities and gave him some tips on how to overcome them. He then asked me how many times I had had a threesome, to which I replied only once. I then asked him how many partners he had before, and he said 3, all serious relationships. This made me feel uneasy because I had 5 times as many partners as him. So I lied and said I had only 6 partners. I know this was a messed up thing to do, but it seemed insignificant to me. I don't understand why people make such a big deal out of it. I thought it was for the best, as he was hurting, and I didn't want to hurt him anymore. We cuddled and made out, but he couldn't get it up. This had never happened before, and on some level I thought he didn't find me attractive. However, he explained that he had a long day and was just stressed from work. I did some research, and now I don't know what to believe. Am I hurting him? He woke up with morning wood, so it doesn't seem like anything is broken. But it happened 3 more times. I initiate every time and give him time to heal, but he still can't get it up. I suggested couples therapy and even Viagra, but he got really annoyed and stormed out. He came back and packed his bag, leaving a few hours ago. I was a mess, crying and shouting. I even tried to stop him from leaving, but he didn't listen. He didn't say we were through, but he didn't seem happy when he left. I remember some of you guys suggested that we spend some time apart to rediscover what we love about each other. And I guess that's what's happening now. I called some of his friends and his parents to find out where he went. I hate to admit it, but I think I'm losing him. He's ignoring my calls and it's so unfair and stupid. How can I come back from this? It all seems so insignificant now. I'm extremely depressed. I went through some of his things in our closet and found an engagement ring. I think he may have been planning to propose before all of this happened. Update, I still have hope. I spoke to one of his friend's wives and she told me where he's staying. I wrote a letter and left it under his door. I just want him to know that I'm here for him and he can take as much time as he needs. I'm sorry for not telling him and for pestering him. It's only because I love him so much. Is this a good idea? This is the end of the post. Now let's go over some top comments and responses from the original poster. Read her comment. She's a narcissist. She's constantly trying to downplay and dismiss any feelings he may have had in order to prop herself up. It's like he exists as a mere thing for her leisure, and when he isn't properly playing the role for her, she must believe it's because he's broken. She can't fathom the idea that she could possibly be wrong or out of place on anything. It's all about her. She doesn't love him. She can't, because she doesn't know what love is. At this point in her life, she is incapable of it because real love would interfere with her self-obsession. Another Reddit comment. Yep, there is no way a woman would bring up Viagra in a conversation after knowing very well that their partner is still hurt from a previous issue. I work in a pharmacy, and you would be surprised by the number of women who come in and ask about Viagra. One woman even asked if Viagra comes in a spray bottle. Another reader comments, I feel inappropriate in the context of this thread, but Viagra in an effing spray bottle? I can't help but laugh. Reader comments, don't even need to say it's okay. Just put a big old smile and snuggle all up. Original poster? It happened many times after that first time, and I do cuddle. Couples counseling isn't so bad if it can help us through this, right? Read her comments. Jesus lady, you are spectacularly selfish and stupid. You have literally made the wrong decision every single time and are so self-obsessed and selfish that you can't even figure out why your completely effed up actions are hurting your significant other. Just think about how you have acted towards your significant other and forget about how you feel or what you want. He was hurt seeing the video, and your very first reaction was to get pissed at him about his feelings, accuse him of breaching your trust, and tell him that he is insecure. You told him that it's not a big deal, and you can't understand why he's upset. And then you lied to him about the number of partners you had. And then you told him that he should take Viagra because he's having issues getting it up because of what you have been doing to him. Seriously, this is exactly what happened. This is the worst horror movie plot ever conceived. If you have the opportunity to make things better, or just not mess them up further, you decide that you are the most important thing in the universe and make things worse. There is no possible way you can be this oblivious to your actions and still remember to breathe. Stop thinking about yourself. Stop hurting your significant other. Stop dismissing his emotions and needs. And most importantly, stop being a horrible person. At some point, you need to acknowledge that your situation is completely fair and you are a messed up person. The sooner that happens, the sooner you can actually attempt to salvage your relationship. Right now, I'm hoping that you further destroy your relationship so that he leaves you, because nobody deserves to be exposed to your level of childish selfishness. It's only been a couple of days. You don't know what it means to heal. Original poster, I know, I just thought... I don't know, I thought I was helping. Reader comments, what the hell is wrong with you? Seriously, you belittled him by calling him childish. You suggested he take Viagra. You also lied to his face about your partners at the time, when you should have been honest. Of course he's unhappy. You are lying to him and disregarding his feelings. You're the one making things worse. Original poster, I want to give him time to heal. It may sound bad when you criticize my actions like that, but believe me, I love him, and I refuse to believe that he can just fall out of love with me in an instant. Reader comment, I am a woman too. Not everyone treats sex like a handshake. Original poster, you decided to lie whenever it became apparent. You didn't share the same sexual values as him. To you, you don't want to be judged negatively for the things you have done, and you clearly identify with the original poster. But someone has the right to decide for themselves what is a deal breaker in a relationship. For example, no one will fault a woman for considering monogamy a deal breaker. She wants to be with one partner, so she doesn't want a man who sleeps with multiple partners. Okay, so why is it so hard for someone who is not into threesomes to want a partner who is on the same page? You say threesomes are not a big deal. That's your personal value system. Original poster's boyfriend is distraught and never imagined his girlfriend would want one. Thanks to the false impression she willingly provided about her sexual values. I think he should decide for himself whether he wants to continue or not. It's a valid issue since he was misled about who she really is. She pretended to be more sexually conservative like he is. Original poster, I hope it doesn't end. I really love him and we are perfect for each other. You are right. I don't share my past because I usually say it isn't anyone's business. I feel so depressed and unwanted. I feel so repulsed and ashamed. Sometimes I just cry. I know it isn't right, but we will make it through.